You can put a steakhouse-quality dinner on your table in under 30 minutes. A perfect garlic butter pan-seared steak comes down to managing 3 variables: heat, moisture, and butter. You'll need coarse salt, black pepper, a high smoke point oil, and fresh aromatics. But the most important element is the beef itself, specifically a thick 1 to 1.5 inch cut like a ribeye or strip. If you follow the strict rules of the skillet, you don't need any culinary training to get restaurant-level results. First, we build our flavor base. Combine softened butter with minced garlic, fresh parsley, rosemary, thyme, and a bit of lemon zest. Roll that mixture tightly into a log using parchment paper. Twist the ends closed, and place it in the freezer to chill. Next, take your raw steak out of the fridge and let it sit at room temperature for about 20 minutes to promote even cooking. The biggest mistake in pan searing happens right before the meat hits the heat. This split-screen diagram shows exactly why. On the left, surface moisture hits the hot pan, turns into steam, and blocks the heat, leaving you with gray meat. On the right, a dry surface makes direct contact for rapid browning. To prevent that steam, take paper towels and aggressively pat the entire surface of your steak completely dry. Then coat both sides generously with coarse kosher salt and black pepper. This heavy, even layer builds your crust. Eliminating surface moisture and prepping your butter in advance sets up the exact conditions you need to successfully manage a screaming hot pan. Heat a cast iron skillet until it is smoking hot. Add a drizzle of high smoke point oil. When the oil shimmers, gently lay the meat into the pan, starting from the edge closest to you and dropping it away. This protects you from hot oil splatters. Once it hits the pan, leave it alone. Do not touch or move the steak for exactly 2 minutes while the initial crust forms. Flip the steak and you'll see a dark, caramelized exterior. Immediately drop the burner heat to medium-low. The pan holds enough heat to finish cooking the meat, and lowering the flame prevents your next ingredients from burning. Toss in 3 tablespoons of fresh butter, a few crushed garlic cloves, and sprigs of fresh rosemary. As the butter melts and foams, tilt the skillet slightly. Rapidly spoon that foaming golden liquid repeatedly over the top of the meat. This chart tracks the steak's internal temperature, demonstrating why you have to pull the meat early. Notice how the heat continues to rise off the heat source due to carryover cooking. If you want a medium-rare finish of 130 to 135 degrees, you must remove the steak right at the 120-degree pull line. Hitting the meat with extreme heat first, then dropping the temperature for a butter baste, creates a deeply browned crust around a perfectly tender center. Take the steak out of the skillet immediately and set it on a cast iron board to rest for 10 minutes. During the high-heat cook, the muscle fibers tighten and push water toward the center. Resting gives those fibers time to relax and pull the juices back toward the edges. While the meat rests, place a cast iron sizzling serving plate on a burner to preheat. When you slice the steak, cut cleanly against the grain to break up the muscle fibers and maximize tenderness. Look at this photo. You can see the stark contrast between the edge-to-edge pink interior and the dark, charred crust. Waiting those 10 minutes acts as your final defense, locking in the moisture and flavor you spent the entire cooking process building. Transfer your freshly sliced steak directly onto that preheated cast iron sizzling plate. Take a thick slice of the chilled compound butter from your freezer and set it right on top of the hot meat. The extreme heat of a plate forces the butter to melt rapidly, creating a rich, instant pan sauce and releasing that signature steakhouse steam. Check the video description below for exact ingredient ratios so you can try this technique yourself. By controlling your pan temperatures, aggressively managing surface moisture, and mastering the butter baste, you erase the barrier between everyday home cooking and a premium restaurant experience.